Tractor Supply sweatshirt? I saw him there.
Yeah.
It's so cute though.
Yeah.
They said Sarah's like really good. That is so. Did you go over there with them?
Yeah. I took the team.
Yeah. I told Landon right away. Here it is.
Okay. I know you.
Yeah.
I
It was
wasn't
his bag. Yeah. It sounds like she's okay. It's probably just like she stressed herself out or something. But you really can never know.
right now. So yeah. I'm gonna go figure out where the upstairs. Yes, you're good. That's where the
Do I speak to you now? I mean, I used to live with you. I'm an aunt for her.
maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm like I'm.
That might be an awkward. Like if it's just, I just feel that you don't even know. What happens to it all? Yeah. They just keep it. Yeah. She just wants to like.
We'll be getting started in just a minute. Jim and Marie, where's Cassandra?
Can you go on the other side so we're not Yeah, just I see heavy on that.
I'll just go to the end. I know why. Oh, okay. I'll go right here. Okay. I'm doing well. Great. We go way back. I know. Love it. All those thanks again. For our farm being recognized. That's great.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Diana Dibble, Vice President of Integrated Marketing Communications for American Dairy Association Northeast. On behalf of our organization, the Pennsylvania Dairy Promotion Program, the Pennsylvania Department of Agriculture, and the Pennsylvania Dairy Farm families, welcome to the official unveiling of the 2026 Butter Sculpture. This marks the 35th Butter Sculpture masterpiece to delight and inspire visitors here at the Farm Show, and what a special year to continue this tradition as we kick off the 110th Pennsylvania Farm Show and celebrate America's 250th anniversary. In just a moment, you'll hear from several special guests who will help bring today's unveiling to life, including Pennsylvania Secretary of Agriculture, Russell Redding. But before we begin, I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge several guests joining us. From American Dairy Association Northeast, our CEO, John Chrisman. From the Land O'Lakes Carlisle plant, Amanda Reif, Justin Potts, Carrie Spicer, Devin Kennedy, Lori Furman, Joe Parson, Dina Black, Holly Walter, and Mike Euler. We thank you, Land O'Lakes, for your donation of butter. The Pennsylvania Dairy Princesses, State Princess Jesslyn Risser, and alternates Brianne Keller and Rebecca Aldrich. Representatives from 4-H State Council, FFA state officers, and also joining us, the Center for Dairy Excellence. I'd also like to thank our partners at the Pennsylvania Department of Agriculture and the Farm Show team here on site for their continued support. It is now my pleasure to introduce Carolyn Matthews Eaglehouse of Milky Way Farm in Chester Springs, Chester County, who is here to speak today on behalf of Pennsylvania's dairy farmers. Milky Way Farm has been owned and operated by the Matthews family since 1902 and has been a farmstead since the 1760s with over 103 acres of land. Carolyn represents the 4th generation working on the farm, with the 5th generation actively involved. In March of last year, Milky Way Farm was proudly designated a Pennsylvania Century Farm, recognizing 100 years of family farming. Milk from the farm's cows is sold to the Land O'Lakes Cooperative for processing into various dairy products, and some is also used to make ice cream for their on-farm creamery. Chester Springs Creamery, which opened in 2001 and is managed by Carolyn, offers a true cow-to-cone experience and connects the local community with the farm. Welcome, Carolyn.
Good afternoon. It's truly an honor to be here today as we unveil the Farm Show Butter Sculpture and as we celebrate 250 years of American agriculture. Dairy farming has always been a large part of life here in Pennsylvania back to the 1770s when our founding farmers were growing a nation. Southeastern Pennsylvania, including Philadelphia, was a hub of early dairy production. Most farm families had a few cows, while others had just a few more, but everyone was producing milk and butter for their neighbors, and that's something the dairy farmers are still proud that we do today. In fact, the years leading up to the American Revolution, Pennsylvania was the leading exporter of butter to the East Coast and the West Indies, and we're still making plenty of it, ranking 2nd in the nation for butter production. So celebrating 250 years of America's history with a 1,000-pound butter sculpture here in Pennsylvania just feels right. My own family farm, Milky Way Farm in Chester Springs, was one of those early farmsteads, and we've been dairying there for 4 generations since 1902, but the land itself dates back to the 1760s and a William Penn land grant. Agriculture runs deep for our family, as she mentioned, as we care for the animals, the land, and build connections with our community. What drives us every day is producing wholesome food from our milk, creating meaningful experiences through our pumpkin harvest season and our education programs. That's also why we opened Chester Springs Creamery, making farm fresh ice cream using our cow's milk and welcoming more than 80,000 people a year to our preserved farm. Just like our nation's founders planned boldly for the future, Pennsylvania dairy farmers continue to be innovative today, working each day to make sure we have strong, sustainable food systems for the communities we serve and the upcoming generations. In just a few minutes, we'll unveil an incredible work of art created by the talented Jim Victor and Marie Pelton, using locally made butter from our dairy farmers just like me. As a member owner of Land O'Lakes, we are proud to think that some of our milk has been used in this sculpture today. This year's sculpture is especially meaningful as it reflects who we are as dairy farmers and honors Pennsylvania's rich dairy heritage. Thank you to the artists for their amazing work, to Land O'Lakes for donating the butter that's made it possible, and I am proud to represent Pennsylvania's more than 4,800 dairy farmers and help celebrate the dairy stories that make and help build our nation. Diana, back to you.
Thank you, Carolyn. More than 1,000 pounds of butter were used to create this year's sculpture, and here to talk about that process, which included 14 days inside the booth here, are the talented sculptors and husband and wife team, Jim Victor and Marie Pelton of Montgomery County.
Thank you, Diana. Jim and I are always very grateful and honored to be here with you. The butter sculpture always gets a lot of attention for its entertainment value, but it also tells an important story about agriculture and pays tribute to the hardworking dairy farmers. The art that we've created shines an important spotlight on dairy farmers and the dairy products made right here in the Commonwealth. We pride ourselves on bringing a theme to life in the form of a sculpture created from 1,000 pounds of butter donated by Land O'Lakes. Thanks to their generosity, we're able to create a meaningful art piece that will be viewed by thousands of farm show visitors. After the farm show, the butter won't go to waste. It'll be recycled into recyclable energy at Rhineford Farms.
Yeah, it's an honor to be part of the tradition every year, especially for this commemorative year, the 110th Farm Show and the 250th anniversary of our nation. We couldn't do it without the support of the Pennsylvania Department of Agriculture, the people right here in the Farm Show complex, the American Dairy Association Northeast, and the Pennsylvania Dairy Promotion Program. Thank you. But I also wanted to thank the people right here, Mac, who's takes care of everything, who's been absolutely wonderful in supporting us here. And also, I want to say something about my wife, Marie, my spouse. She really, people think, for years have been thinking, well, I'm the guy who does the sculpture and she's the one who's my helper. Nothing could be further from the truth. Nothing could be further from the truth. She has been absolutely, she designed this sculpture that you will see here today, and she's been designing probably most of the sculptures. And not only that, she probably does, for every one figure that I do, she can do two at the same time. So she's very fast, very energetic.
Well, thank you very much, but it really is a team effort, so thank you. I can't do it all myself,
All right.
And so I thank Jim as well for being my partner. Back to you, Diana.
Thank you, Jim and Marie. It is truly an honor to introduce our next speaker, a visionary leader helping to shape how our nation will mark one of the most significant milestones in our history, America's 250th anniversary. Cassandra Coleman serves as the Executive Director of America 250, the official nonpartisan initiative that inspires every American to participate in this once-in-a-generation commemoration. She is leading efforts to ensure that 2026 is not just an anniversary we observe, but a moment we all experience together, inclusive, unifying, and forward-looking. Welcome, Cassandra.
Good afternoon, everyone. And as mentioned, I'm Cassandra Coleman, and I have the distinct honor of serving as the Executive Director of America 250 PA, the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania's official commission that was charged with planning and coordinating all of the programming, projects, and events around the 250th anniversary. And it is so amazing to finally say this year. So first, thank you so much to Secretary Redding and to the entire Farm Show team for welcoming us here today. I also want to acknowledge our dairy partners, the farmers, and the families who anchor this tradition, and the artists who delight thousands of Pennsylvanians every year with their talent and their creativity. America 250 PA was created by the General Assembly and Governor back in 2018 for one simple purpose: to help people from Chester Springs to Townville mark this milestone in a way that reflects the best of who we are: curious, connected, and proud to be Pennsylvanian. So it feels exactly right to usher in the semi-quincentennial year here at the largest indoor agricultural exposition in the nation, alongside the people who feed our communities, care for our land, and keep Pennsylvania growing. My team and I are honored to see the work of America 250 PA reflected in this year's Farm Show theme and in one of its most iconic traditions, the butter sculpture. Growing a Nation captures 250 years of Pennsylvania's contributions to our country and our agricultural heritage. The milestones that define America are rooted here in Pennsylvania. And while July 4th, 1776 is the date that is etched in all of our minds, the real work of democracy extended far beyond Independence Hall. It happened in our towns, in our mills, in our barns, and in our fields. Everyday Pennsylvanians shaped what this country became, and farmers were always at the heart of that story. The Farm Show brings together the whole Commonwealth, rural, urban, and suburban, lifelong farmers and first-time visitors, grandparents who never miss it, and kids who are seeing it for the very first time. It reminds us that Pennsylvania is strongest when we come together to celebrate what we value and carry forward the traditions that connect generation after generation. I'm so excited for you to see the extraordinary piece of art that Jim and Marie created. And this year's butter sculpture captures that shared pride, heritage, and sense of purpose. When you see it up close, you'll notice the detail, you'll notice the craft, and I hope you'll be as moved as I was about the spirit behind it. Thank you for being here. Thank you to everyone who put the hard work and long hours in for what it takes to make each farm show a showcase worthy of Pennsylvania, because today's unveiling marks the beginning of a year-long statewide commemoration across all 67 counties and hundreds of local communities. America 250 PA has prepared an epic year of engagement, one that invites every Pennsylvanian, everywhere, to get involved. No matter where you live, there is a place for you in this milestone to learn, to serve, to reflect, and most importantly, to celebrate together. Join us as your place in history is waiting. It is now my honor to introduce Pennsylvania Secretary of Agriculture, Russell Redding.
Thank you, Cassandra, thank you, and what a beautiful sort of story, right, of America 250 and the journey, and I can't think of a better person to have led that and to finally be in the year when we get a chance to both celebrate this amazing sort of nation we've built, the people around it, and the story that Pennsylvania has every right to tell. We're looking forward to that. But let me take a moment to say thank you to many here. I always feel when I come to a podium and I look around that there are a lot of folks who make the moment possible, right? They allow us to sort of gather, whether it's this year or for 110 or 250. They allow us to come together. And I look around this room and there are folks every day who are in this discussion with us. You're in this business with us. You're in the story of what Pennsylvania is and Pennsylvania agriculture is and will be. So thank you for being here and being part of that. A couple of call-outs. I mean, Marie and Jim are humble. You saw them stand here. But I want to take a moment and just say again how much we appreciate anybody who spends 14 days in that case deserves a round of applause. Thank you. Yes. I'm always amazed. I've been asked many times, do you know what it is? Yes. I saw it on paper many, many months ago. And that sketch that Jim talked about Marie doing, it all comes to life. But there is a journey through that process. So I always want to say thank you to the American Dairy Association and John and the team who work with us. I feared the year that I fall off of your Christmas card list because we've got all these conversations about what is the sketch and how do you create and present the theme of the year like this one. But I appreciate the relationship that we have with Dane. I want to call out Team Land O'Lakes, even has a shirt to go with it, right? Amazing, beautiful cooperative, the state royalty, dairy royalty here, to Cassandra, who's been this great voice and advocate across time. You'll notice the PA Gardens and Longwood have presented these beautiful arrangements. A note of thanks to them. And we simply could not do what we do without the Mark Keller and the Friends of the Farm Show Foundation. Mark is here, I know, right here. Mark, a round of applause for Mark and the entire foundation for what they do. And I realize you get to this point in the program, and I should just say amen, right? And just keep moving. But let me do a couple of things, because in the farmer presentation of this is the one that I particularly appreciate, because what they do across generations, across time, is what we get a chance to celebrate and capture in this, both the theme but also the butter sculpture. And Carolyn and the Matthews family, to me, is like this amazing sort of story. They have a book that they wrote some years ago with a lot of help, and I look at it frequently because it captures both the story of the family, but they were really, it was really important to them to capture the story across time of the land. And I look at that often. There's a foreword inside of this history, and it says, "The farm is a witness to life." I think what a beautiful statement, right? A chance to sort of look at that farm and what it presents to them and to the families, to the state, and certainly to this nation. And the farmers and their stories are what we will hear this week, and certainly what we celebrate here at the Farm Show all year. This year's theme of Growing a Nation. It's 110 years of the Farm Show and 250 years of an amazing story and amazing journey. But I think the 250 allow us to sort of connect across time. I think back, we had Benjamin Franklin earlier today, and one of the great thought leaders of America, right? We think that everything we have here was always here. And you think about a nation, a young nation, that wasn't even sure where it was going. But it knew it had to feed people. It knew it had to build and grow and produce things. And that became sort of agriculture. They were the scientists. They were the economists. They were the dreamers and thinkers and doers. So we stand here today and celebrate that beginning. But we also celebrate this amazing journey that has brought us across time to be here in Pennsylvania. And that's the cool part, that America was born in Pennsylvania. And its identity is deeply rooted in agriculture. We celebrate that. We see that. We'll have a chance to really touch and feel and smell and talk about all of that during this week. It honors the pivotal role that agriculture played in our nation and captures the historic moment in a way that blends both the tradition and creativity and celebration. So the honor is both hosting this, but also doing a sculpture, right, that captures that moment as well. Without giving too much away, I can tell you that this features sort of familiar faces of our nation's founding. It's a moment of celebration that might surprise you, and the details that honor the farmers who continue to shape our Commonwealth every day. Every element of this story is important. Throughout the accents and the pedestal you'll see, and Pennsylvania's rich agricultural traditions are here. It reminds us about the farming and food traditions and the production and how they're interwoven in the communities. Going back to Carolyn for a moment, she mentioned the ice cream and the Milky Way farm. I can attest to that, but also encourage us as we stand here in the comfort of this moment, in the celebration of dairy and a butter sculpture, is for all of us to sort of take time to look around, to think about all of these farms that are planted across our Commonwealth, who every day allow us to enjoy the quality of life that we do, who are amazing stewards, who don't always get the credit that they deserve. That is what we celebrate. That's what's inside of this case. So I encourage you to look around, to visit Pennsylvania, to wonder and think as our founders did about what the state would become and what a nation could do when it's growing. So today we celebrate that. We appreciate all who are part of it. We appreciate Governor Shapiro's intent focus on agriculture in this Commonwealth, and particularly dairy, that allows this to be a story we tell for many years to come, that we keep sustaining our dairies. We keep looking forward for the growth of both the industry and our nation. So together we are proud. Together we celebrate what it means in growing a nation. So, Diana, back to you, and thank you all for being here. Enjoy this 110th Farm Show and the 250th anniversary of America. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Secretary Redding. I'd now like to have all of our guests gather around for the official unveiling. Okay, when you are ready, you're just going to hit that up button.
Go over here.
Yeah. Go ahead. Head over to this. There you go, John. Everybody get ready, okay? Yeah. Okay, when you're ready, I'll do a quick little countdown. Are you ready? Let's have 3, 2, 1, and let's raise the blinds. They're going, they're moving. There we go. Okay, as they raise, I'd like to cue our celebratory party poppers. Go ahead. Woo!
5, 6, and 7. 5, 6, and 7. 5, 6, and 7. 5, 6, and 7.
Is 5 going up? Is 5 going up?
No, here's writing.
I need to finish my writing.
Go ahead and finish this.
This year's sculpture is titled A Toast to Our Nation's 250th Anniversary, inspired by founders, grown by farmers. The sculpture reflects the 2026 Pennsylvania Farm Show theme, Growing a Nation, and celebrates the vital role agriculture has played and continues to play in the American story.
5 and 7.
Where's Gail's? The scene transports us back to 1776 Philadelphia, with Benjamin Franklin and the Founding Fathers gathered around America's founding document, marking the moment with a celebratory milk toast. Iconic symbols such as the Liberty Bell and a nod to Betsy Ross and the first American flag help tell the story, while red, white, and blue accents reinforce the patriotic spirit of this milestone anniversary. Beneath the scene, the pedestal highlights Pennsylvania's agricultural heritage through carved imagery representing farming and food production.
7. 7 is ready, but we didn't know what the...
It's going.
It's going.
Thank you for joining us today, everybody. Enjoy yourselves at the Pennsylvania Farm Show.
What you were just reading, I had my recorder off trying to get a photo of that, what you just
What I
said about this sculpture and stuff. Where was that at?
Right.
Is that this page?
Yep, it's right here. The theme.
I got some of it, but not all. You just move your left hand.
Oh, yeah. Well, you don't want these are my notes down
Oh,
here.
it's up here at the top.
Yep.
Okay.
Ends with closing comments.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Paid a lot of money for some slow motors.
Thank you. It's open.
Unfortunately, at least the signs should work when they
But I'm getting ready to start the pictures.
We're taking your lead.
Yeah, whatever you want to start doing photos.